Call to order the City Commission workshop for Tuesday, May 24, 2022. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor McGurk.
Here.
Commissioner Hartman.
Here.
Commissioner Colodi.
Present.
Commissioner Sacks.
Here.
Thank you. Mayor Owen is absent. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Public participation. Is there any, at this time I'd like to open up public participation on the workshop. Anybody in the audience wanting to speak? Now is the time to do so. Okay, seeing nobody, I'm going to close public participation, move on with the workshop, and the first item is going to be the CRA Economic Development Fiscal Year 2022-23 Budget Workshop Presentation. Chris, I think you're the guy up. Good evening.
Well, good evening, Mayor. How are you?
Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor, sorry. Okay. Tonight, Vice Mayor and Commissioners present to you the request for the CRA Economic Development Department for the fiscal year 22-23. As you can see, our current operations include 2 personnel, full-time, myself and Irma Terry as Community Resources Coordinator. Of course, you can see the operations that we have, and then, of course, the org chart. Here are some of the accomplishments that we've had over the year. So far, we've had pretty good success, and you can see our efforts, your efforts to promote the affordable housing in our community in those pictures, and that is an ongoing project that is moving forward. And then also, we move forward with a couple of grants, and those grants have moved forward. We're actually in the reimbursement process of the large scale now, and we completed the Dust Street project. And also, you can see the economic development activities for the year as it relates to the advocacy efforts that we've made throughout the year, some of the special projects, some of the special economic development-based events that we have submitted this year and completed, rather, and the recruitment, of course, of Wire 3 to implement a 10 gig data service, and they're currently continuing those efforts now. And also, we talked about the Brownfield program activities. Of course, you know, we awarded the coalition grant along with cities of Edgewater and Oak Hill, so we're moving forward with that. We have about 5 total assessments that we've done to date. The CDBG activities are continuing to move forward. We do have approvals from the county to move forward with both the artificial turf and environmental shade structure project. And then we also have had quite a few community resource activities that have been well received by our community, different stakeholders, businesses, and residents alike. And we highlight the upcoming Heart of the Community Day event actually coming up this year, as well as a job fair that we are looking to work with CareerSource to host at the Brandon Center. That will be in July. And then, of course, we'll continue to try to move forward with our grant implementations as well. Also, our goal, again, is to complete those projects that we mentioned and also continue to promote New Smyrna Beach as well as our regional economic development strategies. So we segue into the current budget. Currently, we have a budget, this is as of the end of April, $418,393. And that, once you roll in the $600,000 of funds from the EPA, you basically add up to where we are for the total for 21-22. And then, of course, the CRA budget is currently at 24.3% expended. And that's because we've had some lag with some projects that have not gotten completed yet that are in the works, but that will certainly expend those dollars as time comes. So for fiscal year 22-23, we are requesting for our staff, I think we are the smallest in the city, but not for that reason alone, but we do need some assistance with providing administrative support within the team. Oftentimes, Irma and I are kind of in the field quite a bit or, pulled away into different projects and meetings. And so it's time taken away from us being efficient as a department, as small as we are, to complete certain things. And we want to improve our internal customer service as well as external customer service and make sure that we are responding to all requests in a timely and efficient manner as much as possible. So we feel that this position will be adequate for where we are at this stage of the department. The economic development plan that you see before you is really an idea for us to move forward with our strategic plan. As you know, we did the strategic plan workshop last year, was well attended. We got a lot of good feedback. We want to try to see how we can capitalize on that, move forward with a inclusive economic resiliency and performance-based plan, which basically would kind of get us to a place where we're measuring our success to see where we are versus just kind of pulling together another shelf plan to just kind of sit, but something that's more active and that's something we can use to benchmark our actions. Also, the master plan for the CRA is recommended at the state level that it be updated every 5 years. We're kind of beyond that now. We're coming on to our 7th year, so we kind of do need to move forward with that. So we are going to try to move forward with a consultant to update that plan and see how we can also integrate some type of performance indicators in there as well. The other contractual services, obviously, we are implementing a program, but the next step of that is the cleanup. So with those contaminated properties that you'll see, those properties will need to be cleaned up, and we will need to see more funding from the federal government for that. We are, if there is not allocated a grant-type position for the city as a whole, requesting $5,000, which we were given as a good estimate for what it would cost for a grant writer for a cleanup part of that grant. And then the capital outlay, of course, Irma and I are currently using our personal vehicles to conduct city business, and so we are requesting in this fiscal year a new department vehicle by which we could be able to go out into the community and use that vehicle more frequently to assist businesses and community residents as we do projects and programs in the community. And that's it. That's all I have. I hope that's quick.
Well, appreciate that, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. You know, we always start down there, so I'm going to change things up and I'm going to start. Anyone have any comments, Brandy?
No, not really.
Okay.
A quick question,
Yes, sir.
Chris. Could you explain you mentioned a 5-year term, and you mentioned that the association requires that we update the $110,000 is what I'm questioning, certainly not a criticism. What do those costs cover?
Well, as you know, the plan that we have now is several pages that we have currently. And that particular plan has old data in it and things of that nature. One of the things that it does is does like a kind of like a ROI, if you will, over a few period of years. It kind of estimates the value at that time it was done, which was 7 years ago. So now we just kind of need to update that. There's some statistical and quantitative data, as well as maybe the strategies that we're using have kind of been exhausted. So it will take an analysis of that as well. So not just the objectives, but also the quantitative, and then also the information that may need to be updated overall about that area since we have fast forwarded 7 years. So
you would use an accountant and the association to aid in that?
The Florida Redevelopment Association has a group of recommended, but we do have contractual services here in the city, so we would probably be looking at one of those continuing service agreements.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you for letting me
Thank
off
you.
the hook easy tonight.
I'm glad I could oblige.
Appreciate the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on to the information technology budget presentation. Thomas, good evening.
Good evening. Let me switch over to my presentation.
Sure.
All right, good afternoon, good evening. I'm going to present the Information Technology Department's mini budget workshop. In the city, we have 17 connected sites. We have approximately 310 users that have email accounts, which I believe all of our users now have email accounts for easy communication. 420 computers, 78 servers, which 18 are physical, 58 are virtual. 245 desk phones or other connected type phones at buildings. 74 network printers, 118 network video cameras throughout all the buildings currently. 155 cell phones and 148 data cards or tablets that connect our devices. So this year's accomplishments, we now have an IT training room over at the Babe James Center. So anybody who needs to conduct any computer training, we have an 8-seat with an instructor computer over at the training room. We now have an intranet site using SharePoint for all of our users to be able to get any resources more easily. We just recently set up our Starlink satellite internet connection at the EOC. So if during a storm we have all of our internet connections are down, we'll have satellite connection to communicate. We recently connected the Coronado Center to the city network, and there's Wi-Fi for events there. We're in the process of setting up the airport tower with an internet connection or a connection back to the network to allow phones, which will benefit them because their POTS lines are very problematic. We're hooking up Wi-Fi at the golf course and also connecting their maintenance shop to the city network as well. Right now they're connected on cellular, which isn't very stable. We've implemented our new backup software and backing up our backups to the cloud. We passed that earlier this year. We completed the City Hall Annex project of any of the IT items that we're using here. We replaced servers and storage this year. We replaced video recording software. We're in the process of implementing a redundant internet connection, which should be completed in the next couple months. And we're still working with the UC for the fiber project that we started last year. Materials have been an issue, so it's kind of held up that project right now. Next year, our objectives, upgrading our Office 365 software on our desktops. We're going to review IT policies and incident response, do a third-party security assessment, continue reviewing and implementing cybersecurity best practices. We're going to expand our SharePoint Internet site with other departments having their own sites to collaborate within their departments. We're going to be replacing desk phones that are aging out and needing replacement. We're going to start planning for a data center on the west side of 95. And we're going to continue to work on fiber expansion to help reduce costs. Last year's budget was approximately just over $1 million, and we have seven positions. Any increases in next year's budget are primarily maintenance renewals that are multi-year renewals this year that are coming due for Microsoft server licensing, email protection software, and some training. This will be our first full year of Office 365 E3 licenses, network security assessment, our desk phone replacements. Next year, we're replacing commissioner equipment after the election. The increased staff last year, we're adding additional training for that staff. This next year, any of the internet, data center, and phone costs will be moved into the IT budget where they're currently not this year. So while it's an increase to our budget, it's not an increase across the board, it's just being moved. Redundant internet connection will be the first full year of that internet connection. So there'll be that was approved earlier this year. And then we're going to get a speed increase of the existing connection when it's moved. And that's all I have. Any questions or comments?
All right, thank you. We're gonna light you up. We're gonna take the comments we didn't ask Chris, and we're gonna save them up for you.
All
Any
right.
comments in any particular order?
No.
Okay.
The phone system we're just upgrading the antiquated devices that we have out there now?
They're just the handsets on the desk. So the system itself will stay the same.
Okay.
It's just those handsets are starting to become obsolete and no longer supported. So it's just a swap. So it's just a hardware replacement.
But it have the same software associated?
Yeah, the back end of it stays the same.
Okay.
It's just a newer, it's like replacing your computer.
Okay.
So we got a few questions.
Sure.
Security, tell me just briefly, what are we doing about security and the future of security? Are we well positioned and secure?
We could always be more secure. We've done several things to help make us more secure. Our backups being, the backups that we switched to are what's referred to as immutable, so they can't be overwritten by an outside source. And then we also move those backups to the cloud. So having them separated from here helps. So if we're ever compromised to that extent, those cloud backups aren't compromised.
So that helps when I hear that a city is held hostage or a corporation is held hostage.
Yes.
The backups that we've created allow us not to be that exposed.
It helps us recover from that, correct?
So we're not at their,
At their mercy.
yes, perfect. Data center. What is it, when you say data center, what is that, what do you mean?
So I spoke last time about trying to partner with the UC to have a data center on the west side of 95. Due to their compliances with their regulatory, it's not possible for us to co-locate with them. So right now, all of our data that we do have on premise is at the police department, which is very close to the intercoastal. So if there's a flooding event, I'm concerned that our data center would be underwater very easily.
Okay. When I thought of data center, I think of a bunch of calls. I think of a call
Oh,
center
yeah,
type
no,
data center
no.
where we're gathering information. You're talking about, it's a storage data room.
It's
Physical.
a server room where we would have our servers and network equipment.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Do you see any fundamental shifts and changes in technology in the near future that would require us that we're going to need a significant upgrade?
I mean, just normal. I wouldn't say that there's any shift. It's just the normal replacement. It seems more and more what our costs are having to keep up with is they're making equipment obsolete because they're not supporting it any longer. So the equipment works fine, but they no longer support it with software. So we're exposed to security risks.
So there's no new technology that we're going to have to look at with a big expense, fundamental shift in the way we do things.
Just implementing more security measures is the main thing. I mean, that is, like I said, we will always be striving to be more secure, and that always costs more money.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? No questions for Thomas? All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, going on to commission comments. Is there any commission comments? Seeing none, I think we're adjourned.